Night. Welcome to the show. Just missed a great discussion between the producer and I. I'm going to sit here and not move or breathe. She would like that. She would like that. Welcome, everybody. It is Sunday. Church this morning was great. Production team is setting me up with audio and visual. We'll give y'all a few minutes before everyone gets on. And welcome. There's Jake Awesome first. Let's roll. It is Sunday, a couple days after Christmas, a couple days before New Year's. We're going to be on Wednesday, New Year's Eve, so come back and join us then. We want to hear about your Christmas. Was it everything you wanted it to be? Those of you that expected a great one, we hope it was great. Those of you who Christmas is an odd time of year or not that great, we hope it was still great and you enjoyed it. And we're moving forward, right? The new year, we're bringing in 2026. Church this morning talked about don't bring any of that baggage from 25 into 26, right? There's even a meme. Some friends of mine, we're in a group, and it said, make sure you go to the bathroom New Year's Eve right before midnight so you don't take any of that stuff, bring any of that stuff into the new year. And we're all about that. We are. 25 wasn't horrible, but we want 26 to be even better. So we're going to be bringing in the new year. We're going to talk about Wednesday, New Year's Eve. We'll talk about New Year's resolutions and all that stuff. But first and foremost, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Jake Awesome, Combat Medic is here. We're Lima Charlie. Thank you. Carrie Ann-Marie Potts, right back at it. Jordan Hammond, good evening, my friend. Hope you and your family had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year. Back at you, Jordan. Good to see you, always. Carl Green is here. Good to see you, brother. Random topics. We were talking a little bit with the members a few minutes ago, talking about trolls. And I can so easily talk about it now because they don't rent space in my head. And I'll tell you that story another time too, but they're not, I don't think about them ever. And Random Topics has had some trolls on hers. And she says right here, look at, it stung me bad being laughed at online, mocked for Uncle Chris's death. He was an American military veteran and medic and sergeant who died in 2019 military service related cancer. Horrible. So sorry to hear that. Hope he's resting in power, and we'll continue to pray for him and all of you. But to have somebody mock that or a troll, that troll knows nothing about any of you, any of them, and it's not, excuse me, it's not personal. They're mad at their own life, right? That's what trolls are. They're upset, not very intelligent. They're just mad at their own life, and they want to bring someone else down. It's that equalizer. You're up here. We're all up here. A troll is down here. Instead of that troll building their life up, finding Jesus, whatever they got to do to come up here with you, instead they're going to try and break you down to their level. Ain't got time for that. We ain't letting trolls. They're not wasting my time. So hang tough. Random topics. Do not engage. Whatever you do, don't engage. That's all they want. They're like bullies. They pick on every single kid till one kid pushes back. No, I'm not fat. Oh, now they got your engagement. Don't let them get in your head. All right. David Bryant, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good evening, Sergeant Major, producer, members, guests. I found out that the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad was a USMC veteran helicopter pilot. Amen. Robert Kiyosaki. That's right. Amazing information. And the game is called what? Cash Flow. If you've never played Cash Flow, it's a board game. It's good. Very good. Combat Medic. Random. Sorry to hear about your uncle. He's in a better place today. Amen. Random. We're with you. Sir, Christmas night, I was laughed at by people, told me that he's a stiff and serves him right for it. Again, Random Topics. Don't take it personal. My husband had to end the life. You can ban them, right? You can block them. You can ban them. Get some hammers on your channel. Just ban them. We like to start with timing out because sometimes that's a straight troll that you're talking about. But sometimes they're just people who don't read the room when they go into a channel. But something that bad, ban them and move on. They mean nothing in your life. Rage bait, right? Don't give them the time. Jay Dilly, what's up? Semper Fi Devil Dogs era. Look at them emojis, looking good. What's the plans for New Year's Eve? Doc, thanks for asking, brother. We will be here New Year's Eve. We're going to not bring in the new year with you, but we'll be here New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, we will be going live. So hope to see y'all then. Topic, New Year's resolutions, right? And how to stick with them. That's what we'll talk about on Wednesday. So we will be here New Year's Eve. There you go. Join some military service veterans and the Wits came on. Carl Green. Look at all them. Look at all them emojis. Look at the emojis, everyone. Members have access to those emoji. What's the devil dog? Campaign cover, the salute, the American flag, the Marine Corps flag, and of course the boots. All right. Raja. Here we go. Again, Merry Christmas, everybody. We are with you Christmas Eve. You were with us. Hope your Christmas was amazing. Ours was. We didn't get the whole family together. And at church this morning, ran into one of the pastors and he said, how was your Christmas? I see you guys had fun. Some stuff was posted somewhere. He's like, and he's a young dad, right? So he has kids that are young. Everyone's still in the house. And he said, sorry you didn't get everybody there. And that's a price you pay. And I remember my mom always wanted us home. Carl Green, starting off the night strong, 10 memberships. 10 gift membership. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. Look at all you guys getting free memberships. That's 30 days free. It's $1.99. Consider one, give your shout out to Carl Green for gifting it to you. Excuse me. And then consider staying a member. Staying a member. Right now you get all those emoji. You get the badge next to your name. And you get to join us on our pre-flight. The pre-flight before Gen Pop. Might not be a bonus. Might be a little painful to hang out with us as we pre-flight, as we get everything ready. Lights, sound, topics. It could be fun. All right. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, appreciate you, brother. That's awesome.
Cyrus, if he becomes a member, he'll say that.
Cyrus. Become a member. You can say that. I'll say that if you become a member. My kids love when I say that. MRE, favorite one is chili with beans. Chili with beans is good. Again, but I'm a bad critic. I'm a bad food critic because I like them all. Omelet with ham still my favorite, but I like them all. Become a member, Cyrus. Become a member, and I'll say it. I'll be happy to. Hunter Collins, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Awesome. Combat Medic right there. He's going to stay a member after his gift membership expires. Thanks again, Carl. All right. What's the topics? West Virginia, hang out. Check this out. We got some good topics tonight. The updated PFT standard, the updated Marine Corps PFT standard. I'm going to ask your thoughts on it. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. I did a short on it the day before yesterday. Watch the short if you haven't, and then read the comments. There's some great comments. Kind of opened my mind up a little bit to how my first initial reaction was. Active duty, we're going to talk about there's transition classes right before you get out. Whether you did 4 years or entire career, you have transition classes. I have an idea for the transition class. And I'm going to share that with you. It's for active duty. That's for you active duty ones. And then for those of you that got it, that are out of the Corps, how to stay in shape after you get out of any branch of service. You're in shape while you're in, unless you've been kicked out because of being out of shape. But you're in shape, right? And the thing, do you still fit, some of us older guys, do you still fit your original uniform? Most of us don't, but why not? How can you stay in shape after you get out? Those are 3 topics for today. All right. Look at Hunter Collins, shaved his head. Lots of razor burn for the first time. I was buzz cutting it for a while first before I started baking it.
Didn't Andy just ask you last night, or was that Katie?
One of the kids just asked why I shave my head, or how long I've been shaving my head. Oh yeah, I think it was Andy. How long I've been shaving my head? When I became a drill instructor is when I started. So decades. JTB, Happy New Year's, CC family, Bravo Company, 1046, 1371. Happy New Year's, brother. We're going to be here New Year's Eve, so come back and join us. John McJunkin, happy blessed Sunday evening, Sergeant Major, Madam Producer, Sergeant CC, Cadet CC, Midshipman CC, Kimi, Cocoa Puffs, and everybody. Lay Cook, David Bryant, and all of the SFMFers. Good to see y'all. All right. SFMFers. Maxie, question. Can someone who's 250 join boot camp, Marine Corps? Do they allow you to join knowing they would train you into what they need? No, you cannot. You have to be within height and weight standards prior to going. So, great question though, right? You don't go to Marine Corps boot camp to get in shape. You're going to get into some phenomenal shape while you're there, but it's not just a PT academy. So you got to be in shape, and there is no waivers prior to going in. So you have to pass the ISA, it's now called. It used to be called the IST, Initial Strength Test. Now it's the Initial Strength Assessment. Easy, 1.5 miles, planks for a minute, and 3 pull-ups. Very easy. The ISA is very, very easy. So you should be doing it comfortably. You should be passing it very, very comfortably, and then go to the Marine Corps. There's a lot of physical training in boot camp. There's a ton of it. And if we're talking just being thrashed by the drill instructor, to the runs, to the confidence course, the obstacle course, and runs. So you're going to get in better shape, and you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose fat, gain muscle, but you can't join overweight and let them do it for you. You got to be in shape before you go. Good question, though. All right. Hart Bandry, am I an ex-Marine? No. I'm a former Marine or I'm a retired Marine. There is no ex-Marines. Unless you're discharged with a dishonorable discharge, that's the only ex-Marine. Or right, look at Hunter Collins on it. No such thing as ex-Marine. Carl Green, no such thing as an ex-Marine. That's just well known. So when people say, when those guys, yeah, I was an ex-Marine, you know they're lying right off the bat, unless they were dishonorably discharged. Former Marines. Extreme, what's up, Extreme? Sergeant Major, want to stop by and wish you and yours a happy and safe New Year. Thank you, brother. Good to see you. It's been a little while. All right. Carl Green. Look at you, Carl Green. Everybody look at Carl. You see that? That green wrench? He's the hammer. He helps us. He's a moderator. It's what? The blue wrench. I still want to figure out a way to make it a hammer. Carl's one of our hammers. Keeps me on the LZ, gets me on the LZ on time, and keeps me on topic. Carl, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And his yellow E-globe and anchor. Zombie blood. There you go. Honorable discharge. JTB, I disagree with former Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So I do too. I don't like saying former Marine, but sometimes you need it to describe someone. He's a Marine, just not on active duty anymore. Right? It's kind of hard to say. So he's former Marine. I don't mind it. Retired Marine, prior service Marine is another way to say it. Marine veteran. Right? So there's other ways, but you're right. Former Marine doesn't sound that great. 60 is the number. Oh, look at Doc. Member for 11 months. Is Doc going to be the first to get the new badge? 11 months. Doc Holiday. Look at you. All right. Get some, Carl. Thank you for everything. The GOAT. Right, JTB? I feel the same. Maxie, what's the biggest guy you've seen as a recruit? If you were here about a week or so ago, I was in boot camp. I was a recruit, third phase, thought I was all that. You couldn't mess with me. I was the baddest recruit on the recruit on MCRD. This little drill instructor came up to me. It was at the chow hall. Little, he's a tiny drill instructor. He's like, "Oh, you think you're a tough guy? Do you think you're tough?" I said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." I was confident. Right? I was going to be a Marine in like a week. I don't remember how close to graduation we were. Oh, because I was eyeballing his first phase platoon. Nasty. They just looked nasty. He's like, "Why are you eyeballing me?" He's still a drill instructor, still wore me out. He's like, "You think you're tough?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You think you can take my guide?" I said, "Absolutely. You first phase nasty pigs. Of course I can take your guide." He walks this recruit over here. Must have been 6'6". Close. Gigantic. This dude was gigantic. He was a former Houston Oiler lineman that got injured. Obviously couldn't fulfill his contract for NFL, so he became a Marine. Gigantic. I looked up to him. He said, "Oh, do you think you can still take my..." I said, "Yes, of course I can, because I'm a third phase recruit. I can still take him. I run faster than him." He would have crushed me, though. So he was gigantic. Doc Holliday. God bless you, Doc. God bless fam. Part of the family. I'm telling you, it looks like Doc is going to have that first, newest 1-year mark emoji or badge. We'll see, Doc. God bless you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. 1046, we had a guy named Easley, I think. Dude is huge in build. He was tagged a fat recruit, and he had the pink stripes. I don't remember him easily. They don't do the red stripes anymore, do they? Anyone current? What's the current? Do they still do? If you were a fat recruit, you would paint 2 red stripes on their green tee, their PT shirt, and their PT sweatshirt. And so you knew right away, fat bodies. So you can monitor them on the PT field and certainly in the chow hall. Make sure they weren't getting too much food. Double striper. You don't want to go to boot camp as a double striper. You got a whole lot of attention. Carl Green, get some. We're all getting some. We are getting some. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Saw something about soldiers. I gotta scroll up to. I've always said, Hunter Collins, I've always said I served in the Marines. If someone wants to say former, I'll correct them. I run into a lot of people that want to call us soldiers. That happens too. Again, those are civilians that just don't know. Were you in the Army, right? Or calling you soldier. Even when people abbreviate my rank the Army way. He used to get under my skin, but I remember, and I remember this too when I was a Poolee. One of the recruiters was a staff sergeant, and he would answer the phone. United States Marine, Sergeant Jones, and he was a staff sergeant, and I didn't get it. I was confused as a recruit, and then when I went back to recruiter assistant, I finally asked him, now I could ask because I'm a Marine. I asked him, "Why do you say Sergeant Jones? You're a staff sergeant." I just learned in boot camp, every Marines are fanatical about their rank. Said it's just easier because people just don't understand. You think about it this way, as a high school teenager or a high school teenager's parent, do you care if your recruiter's a staff sergeant or a gunnery sergeant or a sergeant? It's all the same, right? You got bigger things to focus on. So it takes a special person to be able to do that. And Marines typically don't, right? It's very, very, you want everything. Don't you dare call me a soldier. I think, again, with maturity and understanding, on this channel, I get called Master Sergeant, I get called Sergeant, I get called all kinds of things. I'm okay with that. That's absolutely okay. It's not meant in disrespect. That's the best way to put it. They just don't know, right? I'm sure even at Annie Benani, with her Corps cadets, I probably called those guys the wrong rank structure or billet, right? Talking to them, or if granted, I learned, obviously, the soldiers, the Army, because we work with them enough. Even learned the Navy because we work with them enough. Had a humbling experience with a senior chief. I was calling him chief for the longest time because I'm a Marine. You're all chiefs. Chief, senior chief, and master chief, you're all chiefs to me, which was absolutely wrong, right? Until I got humbled when a senior chief, I was a first sergeant, he called me, hey, Gunny, would you like me to call you Gunny? I'm like, no, why would you do something like that? I'm a first sergeant. You know I'm a first sergeant. He said, well, I'm a senior chief and you keep calling me chief. Total disrespecting him, not intentionally. So it's very important. All right. How do we get on that? How do we get on that little rant? Doc Holliday, you the man. What's up? That's from John McJunkin. Discipline is instant willing obedience to orders. All right. Diet recruit. Diet privates. I think they probably do it different now. I remember as a drill instructor, the diet recruits, right? They'd get their tray, go through the chow line, they'd get their tray and they'd line up against the bulkhead. 10 diet recruits, and you knew because they had red stripes. We had name tags that you put on your canvas, little plastic thing that you don't want that taken away. That would have red, the whole thing was red. So you can tell right away, identify the diet recruits. And the double rat recruits. Don't forget about the double rat ones, recruits that are underweight. So they get double rations in the chow hall. The diet recruits, we won't call them fat bodies, but the diet recruits got half portions. But sometimes the servers, they're not looking up all the time. They're filling the plate up. So we'd have the diet recruits line up and you just walk by, eat half of that, eat half of that. You can eat that chicken, don't eat the skin. Half of that, half of that. None of that, right? Because they try and sneak some food on their tray. All right. Old Gyrene is here. Hey, SFMFers. Old Gyrene needs some prayers. I'd appreciate it if y'all throw some for my wife. God bless your wife. Prayers up. Old Gyrene, please let her know she is in our thoughts and prayers. Look at all these prayers already. Hope she's okay. Old Gyrene. Scary. Praying it forward. Give some. Who needs prayer? Look at Jake Awesome. That's old Gyrene's wife. Why can't I? I'm just kicking my butt again. Old Gyrene's wife. Prayers up. And prayers work, everyone. Prayer does work. Extreme. I made a mistake saluting Master Chief. Happens all the time. From E6 on up, their rank insignia in the Navy, the enlisted is silver or silver and gold. Made a mistake of saluting Master Chief. All I saw was brass on his collar and thought he was an officer. Didn't make that mistake again. It happens. All right. Marcel Streb. I have an old American working in college. I say him, you was my first sergeant. He don't like us. All right. Prayers up. Thank you, everybody. Praying for old Gyrene's wife. Old Gyrene. Nothing but positive vibes here. There we go. I remember Hakimi told me how to do it. I was blowing it. All right. Best wishes. Thanks all. Old Gyrene, right here. We're praying. Devil. Yeah. All right. Everyone, once again, welcome. It is a couple days after Christmas. New Year's is just a couple days away. We will be on New Year's Eve. Wednesday, New Year's Eve, we'll be live talking about New Year's resolutions and how to stick with them. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Tonight, we're talking about the new updated PFT standard. If you haven't seen it, I did a short on it very briefly. Again, shorts are short, so I can't get into the details of it. And I try not to sway my opinion too much on some of them I do. Some I just try not to. We want to hear from the crowd. We want to hear what y'all think about it and spark up that very, very important discussion about it. First and foremost, as soon as I saw the headline, David Bryant sent me the article and sent me the link to it. As soon as I popped it up, it said updated PFT standards or something. I don't remember the title, but as soon as I saw update, I'm like, God, please. I hope the leadership got the right people involved in making this decision. Too many times leaders plan in a box, right? I'm in charge. I got to make a change. I got to make a plan or a policy, and they don't get the feedback of the people it's going to directly affect. I've seen that far too often. We're making it, change is good. I have nothing against change, and most of the time it's necessary. But you don't have all the ideas, right? And you don't see it, you forget where you came from, right? That was another short I did. Don't forget where you came from. So the new PFT standard. One, is there something wrong with our PFT standard right now? You talk to your typical hard charger, yes, it needs to be tougher. We're Marines. It's the hardest one of all the branches of service. Our PFT is the hardest of all the branches of service. As it should be, it directly relates to our mission, the mission of the Marine Corps. So yes, it's harder, and it should be. What they did was they upped the minimum passing score. So each event is worth 100 points. Planks, you do 3 minutes, 45 seconds, you get 100 points. Pull-ups, it's up to 23 now. 23 pull-ups, you get 100 points. The run, 18 minutes or less, 100 points. So possible score of 300. 250 and above is good. 285 is a high first-class PFT. 285 and above, ERA. 250 is a requirement for a lot of MOSs, for some MOSs. But minimum passing score, they increased it from 150 points to 210. So 60 points. What was it, 150 to 210? Now, they increased the minimum score for passing for combat arms MOSs. So obviously infantry, combat engineer, tracks, snipers, recon, MARSOC. All the combat arms MOSs, they increased the minimum, which again, I think is great. It should be. What they call it, sex neutral, doesn't matter, male or female, the minimum passing score for combat arms MOSs, they increased it to 210. So if you don't have a 210, that's the minimum. First of all, that's the minimum. Marines don't strive for the minimum. If you can't pass the minimum of 210 points, you'll get put on remedial PT. Concur, 100%. It didn't say how long, because the MAR admin's not out yet. It didn't say how long you have to be on remedial. Typically, it was 6 months, right? And then if you were showing improvement, you get an extension of 6 months. If after that 1 year, you're not within height and weight standards, or you're not passing a PFT, you get processed for discharge. What this MAR admin was saying, it's you can lose your MOS. You can lose your combat arms MOS. So let's say you're an infantryman. You can't pass the minimum score now of 210 on the PFT. You get put on remedial PT. That means you're PTing on the weekends. Lunch bunch, run for lunch bunch, right? You're doing extra PT to get within the minimum standard of 110, 210. Again, I don't, if somebody knows how long do you get to be on remedial before they pull that MOS, they redesignate your MOS, you get a non-combat arms MOS. So loved it. I completely agree with it. And then some of the comments were like, why is it just combat arms? Every Marine or rifleman, how come it's not for every single Marine? 150 points is not hard to get out of 300. 300 points is a perfect score, and it's age dependent, right? As you get older, it's easier to get a first class, easier to pass. And the new increase for the combat arms is sex neutral, right? Meaning gender neutral. It doesn't matter, male or female. The new minimum score is 210 points. So I'm all about it. Look at Hunter Collins supports that. It would be about 20. Oh, put out or get out. Jay Dilly. I'm telling you, I'm all about it. The only recommended change I would make to it is it should be for the entire Marine Corps. Hunter Collins. I don't mean to nitpick, but if memory serves me, you actually needed 151 minimum to pass if you're a minimum everything you fail. So I don't know about the 151. I mean, it says 150 is the minimum, but you can pass all three events and still fail overall because pull-ups are worth 5 points each. So the minimum is 3 pull-ups. So if you do 3 pull-ups, that's 15 points out of 100. You pass the pull-ups with 3, but that's only 15 points. So you need to score nearly perfect on the run and the planks to get 200, 100, 100, and then you would have 215 points. So you can, and if you're only doing 3 pull-ups, you're not getting 100 points on the planks. You're probably not getting 100 points on the run. So you can individually pass all 3 events, but then you add your score up. It's not going to equal 150. So we talk about it a lot on here. Physically fit, right? Someone asked earlier, if I'm overweight, can I go to boot camp? They'll get me in shape. No, you can't go if you're overweight or you can't pass the ISA, the initial strength assessment. So get in shape before you talk to the recruiter. Well, while you're talking to the recruiter, but you have to be in shape. You have to pass the ISA prior to going to boot camp. Now, you're going to get in better shape while you're at boot camp. You're going to get more physically fit. You're going to shed some body fat and gain some muscle. It's going to happen no matter what, whether it's just the PT or time on the quarterdeck, that quality time with your drill instructors, you're going to get in shape. So go for it. Get in shape prior to going. All right. Derek Bickhorst. When I was in the Army as a combat engineer, a combat arms unit, we had to maintain a 275 PFT. So I dig it. And there was a lot of Army that commented on the short. What? 210? That's easy. That's easy. That's easy. That's easy. But it's different events. Different events than the Army PFT. Not saying the combat arms in the Army ain't, they're bad mamma jammas. I got it. But the actual PFT and the scoring system and the events are different, right? For instance, Marines run 3 miles in the PFT. We're the only ones that run 3 miles for the PFT. And I think we're the only ones that do pull-ups. And the Army do push-ups. So the events are different. So scoring is different. But 250 is a good PFT, a good solid PFT, and that should be the minimum, right? All Marines. In an ideal Marine Corps, everyone's between 250 and 300. Why not? All right. I'm in USMC JRTC. I have a 175 PFT score, and I'm listening in June next year. Any recommendations? Yes. Run more, do more planks, and do more pull-ups. Really, not being funny, but you just got to do them all. You have to do every single event, every single day. No days off. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to enlist? Look at this survey the producer just put up. What's the biggest thing holding people back from joining the Marine Corps today? Is it physical fitness, medical concerns, mental confidence and discipline, not enough clear guidance info yet? I'm going to say, wow, I'm not going to tell you. Can they see my choices? All right. I just put mine in, and it's the highest. Ooh, it's close. It's bouncing back and forth. So I think it's physical fitness and mental health. So if you talk to anybody, if you read any part of it, that's the biggest. Talk to recruiters. I wish we had some recruiters on here. It's which one? Oh, discipline between discipline and physical fitness. So that's what the recruiters are finding out. It's hard to find a fully qualified high school student. They're hard to find anymore. Do you not PT enough in high school? Right? Is PE class not enough, or the lack of discipline? They're not PTing on their own, right? Many reasons behind it. And I wasn't a stud in high school, but I played sports, right? I did fun runs on the weekends. I stayed in shape as a young teenager. A lot of teenagers are just not. So the ISA for the Marine Corps, I don't know what it is for the other services, but the ISA, pretty simple, if you ask me. 1.5 miles in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. If you can't run 1.5 miles in 13 minutes and 30 seconds, you got bigger problems. If you can't do 3 pull-ups, I used to tell the recruits all the time, cadets when I was JRTC. If you can't pull your own body weight up, you got problems. You're either pulling too much weight or you're just not working out enough. What if the only way out of a burning building is to lift your body weight up and over a wall? You ain't gonna make it if you can't do one pull-up. So you have to do those things. David Bryant, watch your weight. I was 30 pounds overweight and scored a 300 PFT. I was discharged 3 months early because of it. I blame no one but myself. So with the height and weight standards, everything else according to the new updated system, everything else for all non-combat MOSs, combat arms MOSs, stays the same. They moved on from the tape method, although that's still in effect, where they tape you, your waist, chest, and neck for males. Females, it was hips, waist, chest, and neck. They do some math, they come up with your body fat percent. It was typically about 4 to 6% inaccurate. So we're moving on. Then they did the caliper. Now they got the submersive thing. They even got the newest one. I don't even know what it's called, but it gets you much more accurate. And I used to, because I'm that big guy, always getting height and weighted and taped. They would tape me. I'd be at 18%. I'd be good to go. No issues whatsoever. But I'd go to the gym and get the caliper method, and I'd be like 14%. Right? So we're hopefully they're still working on it to get a accurate, because I was always a first class PFT. Never once did I not get a first class PFT, but I was always on the verge of height and weight standards, right? Because of the system. Michael Romero says, the Army is utilizing the Army Combat Fitness Test. Decided to take a page from the Marine Corps playbook. The CFT, the Army's doing the same exact CFT as the Marine Corps. That's pretty awesome. Is it the same, like verbatim? Michael, that'd be very cool if they are. Everyone should have a first class PFT. It wasn't that hard. It's your job. I'm with you, Jay Dilly, first class. The minimum, look at this, Carl Green. OCS requires a minimum of 220 on the PFT. Amen. And that's why you'll never see, I told y'all, one officer in my entire life I saw fail the PFT. And this was in Bridgeport, California, where you're at elevation. He couldn't pass a run. Kicked out. He got kicked out of Bridgeport. I don't know what happened to him after that. I've seen plenty of Marines fail the PFT, plenty of enlisted Marines. One officer in my entire life I saw couldn't pass it. Again, that was day one at Bridgeport, the Mountain Leaders course in the winter at elevation, snow on the ground. So all of our scores were horrible, but he didn't pass. He took it like 3 times. He failed. I don't know, he went and had some classes, ate lunch, and he went back, did it again, failed. The 3rd time he failed, they booted him out. They don't play. OCS requires a 235 PFT for graduation. So 220 at OCS and then 235 at graduation. Makes sense, right? Can you imagine if boot camp did that? Right? We'd have a whole lot more studs. We'd have less remedial PFTs. We'd have less Marines getting kicked out. Hunter Collins, I'm not doubting you, but 285 and higher waves you from height. Weight 250 up gives you a 1% flex. Not the exact same. So Michael Romero is saying that the Army adopted the CFT, which is great, Combat Fitness Test. Not exact, but the idea, the concept, that's good. I'm telling you, the CFT is brilliant. I'm so glad they included that. Ali the AI, come on, chat. Let's smash 50 likes. We're not even at 50 yet. You got to be kidding me. Everybody double tap right now. Hit that like button. Air Force needs it too. Does Air Force even have a physical fitness test? I'm not being funny, but do they? John McJunkin, high schools no longer emphasize health and physical fitness education. Tragic. It really is tragic. I mean, a long time ago in high school, but we had all the sports. Each quarter was a different sport, whether you liked it or not, right? Basketball, whatever. Each sport was represented for all 4 quarters, and then the open days you'd play dodgeball. There's always something physical. They teach you how to stretch, right? If they don't do that anymore, you're right. That's tragic. Bring back the presidential fitness test. Hunter Collins. Yeah, you remember that? I had my patches. I don't remember how many I have, but I remember that. That was fun.
It's the presidential.
Presidential fitness test. Remember, you got a patch, right? If you got a certain score, you got that little round patch. That was cool. David Bryant, yes, I hear from old Gyrene. I hear you. I was always a first class PFT. Came back from Norway, 3 pounds overweight, and they put me on remedial PT. Guys who couldn't run or hump, no problem. Telling you, my entire career over my weight standard, but I taped out, always had a first class PFT. Thought they had a bicycle test. So I think the Air Force has a bicycle test. Even I know the Navy had a swim. You could run or swim. Maybe Air Force is the same. Run, swim, or they even have a stretch. What service is that? Where you sit on your butt and see how far you can stretch to touch your toes. That's part of the test. Nothing like the PFT. The Marine Corps PFT is definitely the hardest. Doc Holliday, the Air Force PT test is so intense. They give you Scranton, a snack break, a Scantron, a snack break, and ask you how you feel about the run instead of actually timing it. I think you're right. Roger Sawyer, I couldn't pass a PFT now at 77, so I'm still around. Again, the score changes as you get older. Remember, even as an active duty Marine, at one point, 200. I think 200 was whatever age I was towards the end of my career. 200 was a first class PFT. 200 out of 300. So we do the pull-ups back then, pull-ups and crunches. 100. I'd have a first class PFT before I even went on the run. So it ages with you. So no excuse not to maintain a first class PFT your entire career. David, the MC veteran, the Marine Corps veteran. Nice, I like that. Oddly enough, I was at my physical best when I was stationed in Okinawa, 05 to 07. If you had the discipline to better your fitness there, you can do it anywhere. Air Force has the tricycle test. All right. We had a guy in remedial that was shredded. I'm telling you, it's even at a point in my career when I was bodybuilding. I was trying to get a bodybuilding body, way over, shredded, but I was still over my weight max for my height. Schwarzenegger, but he was overweight, so he was on remedial PT. Joe Mack, might sound like a stupid question, but does the Air Force have special forces? They do. That's not a stupid question. All Air Force has PJs, parajumpers. PJs, they're the search and rescue guys, and there's some bad, PJs in the Air Force. They're awesome. Jumping out of helicopters, diving, they get their scuba qual, jump qual, they do all that. They are the pararescuemen. EMTs, all that combined into one. They're not easy. Ray from Queens, look at who popped in. What's up, Ray? Good to see you. In formation. Talking about physical fitness standards right now because the new updated PFT standards for combat arms MOSs. I think we're all in agreement here. I haven't shown anyone against it. A couple of people said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why mess with it at all? Or why not make that increase for the entire Marine Corps? Minimum score standard is what they changed. The minimum score to pass a PFT is 150 points out of 300. 50%. You just got to get 50% of that test to pass. They're increasing the minimum score to 210 points for combat arms MOS, combat engineer. Of course, all the infantry, trackers, all combat arms. Increased it to 210. A lot of the comments were, why don't we increase it for everybody? All right. David, the Marine Corps veteran, do you miss the Corps at times? Not at times, David. I miss it all the time. I really do. And the saying, I fully believe in that saying, I don't miss the circus, but I miss the clowns, right? The camaraderie, the teamwork, deployments, field operations with fellow Marines. Absolutely. You, how about you? Do you miss it, Dave? From Michael Romero, Army does the following events for the combat fitness test: 3 reps deadlift, standing power throw, hand release push-ups, sprint, drag carry, plank, 2-mile run. The hand release push-ups are cool. I like the hand release push-ups. Again, but do you do pull-ups? I think pull-ups are very important, but the hand release push-ups are good. When you go all the way down, your chest has to touch the ground because you have to pick your hands up and then push. Boom. You have to release. Hand release push-ups are good because you can't not go all the way down, right? It prevents you from cheating, really. I think pull-ups, and the Marine Corps tries to, arms fully locked out on the down. Some units even, you can't go up until the counter taps you. So you do a pull-up, boom, over the bar, and he's standing on a platform so he can see that your chin goes above the bar, and then you go all the way down, fully locked out. Then you count 1, and then the counter on the ground just touch you on the side, then you can go again. Kind of like hand release push-ups. All right, excuse me, John McJunkin. What really helped me personally during high school was taking the following physical education classes: cross-country running, swim classes, wrestling, and gym class. Same. We didn't have swim class, but I was a swimmer, born in the water. But everything else, all that should be mandatory, right? I'm sure PE is mandatory, 2 years at least. Hope it didn't change. David, you know what I mean? Same all the time, especially the people I deployed with. And luckily with today's technology, I don't do Facebook. I probably should have. When I talk to friends, they're like, bro, everybody's looking for you on Facebook. I just don't have time for it. But still, we can, once you get somebody's number, we just had Lay Cookie in the house, in the studio last week, and we did our first tour together decades ago. Air Force also has, from Michael Romero, combat controllers. They're ATC, air traffic controllers, can do everything. Halo, dive qualified. They're very, very good at what they do. So we're never going to stop making fun of the Air Force, but they do have some awesome airmen. All right. What advice would you give someone looking to join the Army from Scotland? Join the Marine Corps from Scotland. 100% combat medic, right? The camaraderie. Lay Cookies, got to run. I have to go hang out with the family. We'll see this family New Year's Eve. All keep your heads on a swivel. Lay Cookie, everyone real quick, Lay Cookie before you go. That's the new addition to the SFMF studio, the M4 right behind me from ANCmetalworks.com. Look at the producer beat me to it, ANCmetalworks.com. Mention SFMF to get your 10% off a purchase. You've seen the flag and the Eagle Open Anchor, Semper Fi My Friends plaque many times. He can make it. Whatever you want, custom, art, design, ANCmetalworks.com. Thanks, Lay Cookie, for hanging out. Semper Fi, brother. Take care. Next topic, Carl. You got to keep me on track. Whoa. Did we already go an hour? Semper Fi, brother. David, the Marine Corps veteran. That's cool. We on track? How we looking? Transition classes. That's the next topic of discussion. Transition classes. It's a requirement. It's a requirement. I don't know the current requirement, but I know when I was getting ready to retire, I dropped my Appendix J. That's a Marine Corps form that says, I request to retire on this date. That's it. Right? Remember when you enlisted, what it took you to enlist, the hoops you had to jump through to get enlisted, a whole 40-page packet. You had to sign 100 times, initial another 100 times. Yeah, all that stuff you had to do to enlist or get into the Marine Corps. To get out, it's a page and a half. It's actually 2 pages. Excuse me. It could fit on 1 page. This is me. I request to retire or end active service on this date. That's it. And then there's a spot for somebody to sign off, authorize, yes, approved, approved or disapproved. That's what it takes to get out. Appendix J is what it's called. So once you come to that conclusion, you're going to end your active duty service. You're mandatory. You must go to a transition class. It used to be 1 year out from your EAS. 1 year out from your last EAS, mandatory. Anybody on here not go? Let's find that out. First of all, did anyone not go to their transition classes? Because it's mandatory. And I don't know when they made it mandatory. It was a while ago. But it's definitely mandatory now.
After Desert Storm, after Afghanistan.
Probably after Desert Storm, OIF, maybe the first OIF, maybe they started making it mandatory. David Bryant, right, didn't have those classes. Carl Green didn't. Salute from North Carolina. So, and maybe if you wouldn't mind looking that up, when did they start making transition classes mandatory? So it was for me, 2012. And I had known about it because as Marines were getting out after Iraq, I was making sure they went to their transition class, right? I would get a notification, get a roster from the career planner. Hey, these 20 Marines need to go to this transition class on this time and date. And you give them the day off. They'd go in civilian clothes, right? They dress nice, collared shirt. You dress professional setting because you're getting ready to go into the professional community. Yes. 2010. 2010, they started making it mandatory. Transition classes. TAP and TAMP. Transition assistance. TAP and TAMP. Tuition Assistance, Transition Assistance Management Program, TAMP. And what about TAP? Transition Assistance. 90s was TAP, and then they had TAMP, T-A-M-P, Tango Alpha Mike Papa. TAMP classes. You had to go. Mandatory, right? The first sergeant would get a roster. All right, if I call your name, you're going to TAMP tomorrow. Be here 08, civilian clothes. Right, khaki pants, shirt, polo shirt, tucked in, belt, nice go fasters. And you go and learn on what to expect once you get out. Probably about 30 different classes, 15-minute presentations. They'd have speakers coming up from different organizations telling you, oh, don't forget about this. Medical would come, give you a brief. Dental would come, give you a brief. Admin come, give you a brief. Maybe some outside agencies, right, housing, whatever, all these things to prepare you from life after the Corps. Sounds great. Sounds great. Sounds great on paper. There's the MAR admin right there. A MAR admin 632/19 in 2019. Typically that number, the slash number is the year. That's the MAR admin for it. So, a couple problems come up with that. I think there's Marines, we already have Marines on here that said that they didn't go to it for whatever reason. That's a busy time, a year before you EAS, and I'm guessing it typically probably happened a couple months before you got out. Too late. Too late if you ask me. I think it should be 2 years out if you know you're getting out. And that's the caveat to it. Some Marines don't know 2 years out if they're getting out or not. Unless you're a retiree, you're coming up to that 30-year mark, the 20-year mark or that 30, and you know for sure you're getting out, then you could do it 2 years out. Some Marines don't decide till like 6 months out. So I get it. As soon as you decide to get out, you should be allowed to go. And more than once. You should be allowed to go as many times as you feel to get all the information. Because that truly is the definition of a fire hose of information, right? And you're trying to collect it all in. Tons of information. And then your circumstances has a lot to do with it. I put mine off. I put mine off purposely because I thought I knew, right? I made the dumb, humbling experience mistake of, I'm a sergeant major. I know what I got to do. I know, and I had a job lined up, so even easier. Not a thing. You can't tell me anything. I'm not sitting through this boring class. I did go, but my situation was I was in Afghanistan, and I was EAS in 60 days after I got back from Afghanistan. I already had the date. I put in my Appendix J. It got approved, so I knew. I got back from deployment in June. We were on post-deployment leave all of July, and I got out the end of July. So 30 days after we got back. 30 days after we got back from combat deployment, I EAS'd. So they're like, mandatory transition class, you have to go. I went to my transition class in Afghanistan. Right, drove 3 or 4 hours to whatever big base it was and sat through some classes. Do you think I was paying attention to anything that they were telling me, that fire hose of information that they were explaining to me? I don't remember any of it. I really don't. I take it back. I remember make copies of your medical record, make copies of your SRB, everything. We still had hard copies back then. Make copies, 3 copies. You keep the original, keep 1 for medical, and keep 1. I don't even remember, but I remember hearing that. And that's about it. When there's probably like 40 different classes that we received. So here's my proposal is a couple. One, you should be able to go as many times, and now obviously there'll be Marines that take advantage of it. Oh, we're going to the field, I want to go to transition class. So obviously maintained, right, to legitimate, you should be able to go, I don't know, maybe make it a limit 5 times, whatever. But allow Marines to go more than once. And as early as they possibly can. And then maybe even just come to mind right now, maybe make it mandatory a year before your EAS, whether you have decided or not. Because right now, when you're out, no, I'm going to reenlist. I'm going to request reenlistment. Something happens and you can't reenlist. Your reenlistment is not accepted. So make it mandatory 2 years out and then 1 year out. And then last but not least, active duty staff NCOs and officers attend. Make some kind of rosters where, and you have no intentions on getting out, but as a leader, currents, first sergeants, sergeants, major, commanders need to go to that class to see what those Marines are getting before. They're not even, as a sergeant major, I should have went as soon as I picked up sergeant major. So when I had a Marine, hey, Sergeant Major, I'm EASing in 6 months. What do I need to do? Go to the transition class. That's not great information. That's not great advice. If it's mandatory for first sergeant, sergeant major, E8s and up, and I don't know, 05s and up, 04s and up, whatever it is, mandatory staff and officers attend the transition class. So now they're hearing it from 2. They go to the transition class, they hear from them, from those presenters, and then when they come back to the unit, okay, first sergeant, I have to go to medical because I got to do this. First sergeant can't say, no, you don't. You're going to the field first. Change the tires on all them Humvees, and then you can go. No, the first sergeant realized, holy crap, he's got a lot of stuff to do. So by all means, Marine, go. Handle your business. Prepare yourself for an amazing transition where you won't have questions once you're out. And you're in an area nowhere near a military base. Handle that stuff prior to getting out. If more of us staff NCOs and officers were educated on it, the better. Here's the problem. Staff and officers, senior enlisted, you get that mission-minded, this guy's getting out, so you're not going to be in the mission, then you're outside of my blinders. Poor leadership, bro. I'm telling you, and I'm guilty of it. I was the same way. Okay, I got my deploy 1,400 Marines. We're deploying, and a couple of 1,400. Oh, one says he's getting out. He's getting out. He's outside of my blinders now. Ugh, man, I'm embarrassed to even admit it. He should still be in there, and we should still be taking care of him or her as much as we're taking care of the other 1,399. Still a Marine. Still I owe him or her my utmost, everything leadership I've ever known. The Marines getting out deserve that same type of leadership, that same attention as someone who's going on deployment with us. So how do we get that across? Make them attend. Make them attend. Seems pretty basic to me. All right. I haven't looked at any comments. How are we looking? Does that make sense? Eternal Plus. I wish I had the option. It wasn't mandatory in 06. If you choose education, you can come back and do the job workshop. Say again. Oh, ending the poll. Let's see what the last call for the poll. Last call. Pop up the poll. Does it just pop up on the screen? If the poll on the biggest reason, how do you phrase the question? The basic thing that's holding people back. The biggest thing holding people back from joining the Marine Corps. What's the biggest reason that's holding people back from not joining the Marine Corps? All right. Random topics. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. God bless you. Good night, Random. See you next live. Wednesday, we'll be here New Year's Eve. Try to file your claim while you're in as well. Try to file and you can, disability claim. If you're talking about disability college, you can now, 6 months out, I think you can start your disability claim. They were trying to bump it back to a year, a couple of years ago. 1 year out, you can start your disability claim. I know for sure it was 6 months. I think they try to back it up, but start your disability claim 6 months out, as soon as you get it. Gun East, what's up? Love the idea. I'm telling you. Jeremy, thank you, brother. Short timers don't care. I'm telling you, David Bryant, it's a virus, right? And I'm telling you, I'm guilty of it, and I regret it, and I'm a hypocrite, whatever you call it. When those Marines were telling me, especially if they're a squad leader, they're a good Marine, they're awesome, I'm getting out. What? Like I would get mad at them. That's their life, their decision. I wish I would have backed them up better. Man. Good evening, Sergeant Major from Schofield Barracks. What's up, Schofield Barracks? How's the weather over there? Schofield. Miss me some Schofield.
So the weather's 80 degrees.
80. I'm sure it's 80 degrees. It should have been a weatherman in Hawaii. 80 degrees, chance of rain every day. Guy Hoggy, right? Lai Hoggy, is he? He's still the weatherman. Guy Hoggy, you could look at the week forecast would be 80, 80, 80, 79, 80, 80, 81 in a 7-day time span, and of course, chance of rain. Awesome. Mark Hankins, what's up, Mark? You cannot expect your people to understand any class if you've not attended yourself. I agree with the I agree. Here's a problem, and I'm thinking as a sergeant major, if they would have told me, I would have been mad. Sergeant Major, it's your turn to go to the transition class. I'm not getting out. I ain't got time for that. I'm getting ready for our next mission, our next deployment. So it's a hard sell. It's easy for me to say now sitting on the outside. It's a hard sell to those active duty sergeants major.
Why don't they bundle it in with the E9 Academy
Why don't they bundle it in with the E9 Academy?
for $89.99?
I think you're onto something. I think you're on the First Orange course. It's part of the First Orange course class. That would be easier introduction to it. It should be in the career course. Staff sergeant. You start learning at gunnery sergeant. Start learning it early. Pretty good idea.
The whole course, just a condensed version.
It's a condensed version, a couple classes, right? They should offer some at the career course, right? Some at the advanced course, some at the first sergeant's course.
Every course, it should be in the corporal's course so they know what.
Corporal's course. She's going way back. How about Lance Corporals? How about boot camp?
No.
It's 80 down in Texas. 80. And isn't the cold front going all over the United States? Ray from Queens. Have to go to work now. Great live. Watch the rest tomorrow. Semper Fi My Friend, Cece and production team family. Ray, get after it, brother. Thanks for hanging out for as long as you could. Appreciate you. We're getting, hold on. Can you wait? We got you on the roll call. Ray from Queens, Carl, Doc Holliday, David Bryant, Mike Laycook, Randy and Ellie, Anderson Ho, Menachem, Ed Creedon, Carrie Ann Marie Potts, Jordan Hammond, Heavy J, Bryce Wyborg, Richard Bridges, Jay Utley, Matthew Askren, Chicken Has Arisen, Michaels Drones, Zombie Blood, Cave Diver, Hot Rod, Jared, JTB, John McJunkin, Gunny East, Old Gyrene, Mark Hankins, USMC Vet, Keenan Lindsay, Eric S., Eric Green, Sarn Stacking, Jay Dilly, XP, Bob, 420 Network, Young Ma, Kirby Dude, Big Red, Randy Hodder, Joshua Payne, Oversized Detour, Salty Saxy, WM, Dr. Gimpy, B. Callan, Big Country. If we missed you, let us know. The producer will get you on. We need a bigger dry erase board. That's a good problem to have. Semper Fi, all of you, my friends. Awesome. All right, Adam East. They call it something else, right? No more career course, no more advanced course, staff NCO school. They still have it, don't they? But they just call it something else. Adam East, please tell me they didn't get rid of it altogether. Look at Hunter Collins says, Madam Producer's got a point. Medical discharges still have to transition, so an introductory course in boot camp wouldn't be too bad. Right? Good point. Some people get out well before their time. John McJunkin, I wish the Marine Corps and military as a whole would have had anything like a transition program back then, because all you heard was, here's your personnel file, your DD-214, now get out, quitter. I'm telling you, there's a stigmatism that goes with somebody getting out before 20 years, right? Oh, you're not staying in? What's the matter with you? Nothing's the matter with me. It's my decision, right? I'm telling you, and I was the same one. Got a battalion now. Ray, I'm telling you, Ray, see that? We got to get a bigger dry erase board. Doc Holliday. Ray, once again, thanks for hanging out, brother. Appreciate you. Doc Holliday, how can a Marine, whether new or seasoned, balance PT, recovery, and daily duties to stay in top shape without risking burnout or injury over time? It is a fine balance, Doc, and I don't know if there's an easy answer to it. I can tell you just off the bat, when I was a young Marine, you got to limit the nonsense stuff like drinking, party. I'm not saying don't drink. I definitely won't be a hypocrite like that. Marines drink and they party and they have a good time. They play hard, but you got to work hard to be able to play hard. And it's easier now as a staff NCO or as a older Marine, mature Marine, to realize, quit wasting your time with those dumb friends, drinking, trying to seeing how late you can stay. All those things that don't make you a better Marine. I'm not saying Marine 24/7, you can't do anything outside of being a Marine, but the balance has to lean towards all those things you're talking about. And luckily, early on in my career, some good Marines pulled me aside and said, bro, stop it. Man, you don't need to drink every single night. You're finally on your own. The drinking age is 18, I get it, but go to the gym. That's free. Go to the gym. All right, from Adam East, we're talking about the Staff NCO Academy. Staff NCO Schoolbus, the new one. But I think that's a typo.
School is the new.
Oh, and Staff NCO School is the new one, but Staff Sergeants and Gunnery Sergeants. So they have Sergeants School, right? That's what USMC Cece went through. That's what it's called when she went through Sergeant School. So the Staff NCO Academy is new, but it's only Staff Sergeants and Gunnery Sergeants. Or are they together? Staff Sergeants and Gunnery Sergeants together? Doc, what role do sleep, nutrition, lifestyle play in maintaining peak performance, and how can new Marines develop these habits early? Again, everybody's body is different, Doc. I haven't set my alarm in 2 weeks. I'm up at 4, right? Sometimes between 3 and 4, and I'll get up, I'll go to the gym because I can't go back to sleep. So over decades of doing the same exact thing, I got to get my workout in the morning or I won't get it throughout the day. You get wrapped up in too many. I think I just operate on 5 hours of sleep. And everyone's different, right? I think decades of getting up early, I don't use an alarm clock still. But I believe all the studies that say you need 8 hours of sleep. So you have to balance You got to figure out what works for your body. And how do young Marines develop it? Trial and error, right? Watch their PFT scores, watch their uniforms, how they fit. I think we kind of joke around it. You don't tailor your uniforms, you tailor your body to fit your uniforms. Whatever you got in boot camp, and I'm guilty of it too. Again, another lesson learned. I had to let my blue blouse out a couple of times after boot camp because I was getting bigger. And you stop growing, right? Males continue to grow to in their 20s maybe, but find your fighting weight and stick with it. You shouldn't have to tailor your uniforms more than once or twice. And that's it for this. So you got to maintain, which is our last topic we're going to talk about here shortly. But trial and error, I think, is my answer on that. WW says, I emailed the Command Sergeant Major of the Army about making more slots available to USMC Sergeant. Yeah, I think that would be great. The Marine Corps does now have an E9 Academy. We do. But I think you're right. The 1 year Army Sergeant Major Academy would be amazing if we can get more Marines into that. For both, for the Army and the Marine Corps. I think it would just nothing but, it's a win-win. Good on you. Let us know. Let us know what he says, because that's be amazing. What happened? What's wrong, Skyscraper? I'm about to unjoin. What's wrong? You got a question? Dude has nothing new to say. That's why, no disrespect, just sick of it. Ask something. Give us something new to talk about, Skyscraper. Let's hear what you got. We'd love to. We'd love to hear it. Back in the day, the old timers like myself, they just had the NCOs. Do they still have the staff NCO obstacle course? I heard it was bad. Miles long. I don't think they have just a staff NCO obstacle course. Hunter Collins. Some advice I received, one is to maintain that boot camp schedule, adjust as needed. Again, we all get comfortable. We get into our mode. Some units are much better at PT than others. I remember one company commander we got in Okinawa was a black belt McMap. He was a red tab black belt McMapper. So of course we did it at PT. We increased our McMap time. PT we still 5 days a week, but Tuesday and Thursday was just McMap. Then he PCS. Remember, leaders come and go. We got our new company commander in. He was a black belt, but he wasn't as motivated in the McMap as the other one. So we didn't. Then our McMap training went down, but he loved to hike. So all of a sudden now so you know what I mean. It's who's ever in charge at the time, what they prioritize their physical fitness. So back to what works for you. If your unit doesn't run a lot, you got to run on your own. If they do run a lot, but they don't do a lot of weightlifting, then you have to figure that out and do that on your own. There's enough time off. Even in the infantry, you have time off. It's what you do with that time to improve. Off-duty education, physical fitness, even things like swim qual, shooting, all those things you can do on your own. So it's balancing it. Skyscraper. All right, how about Israel for starters? Well, that's the problem, Skyscraper. Let's discuss something important going on. Soldier. I'm a Marine, and we talk about military stuff. Israel's a little political, so anything specific, training-wise, anything to make us better right here in this community, we're all about it. Michael's Jones, leave that eagle open anchor. We're on Semper Fi JFMs. Just want to say hello and wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Spain. Thank you. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Before I forget, and I'll try to remember a couple of times, we will be here Wednesday, New Year's Eve. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, how to stick with them. Sky, these are primarily Marines, not soldiers. Everyone's welcome, Sky. We want you to hang out. Again, maybe another topic of discussion. Kind of read the room, see where the motivation is coming from, and join that. We don't want you to go, though. Hang out with us. But we will be here New Year's Eve to talk about bringing in the new year. That's what they talked about in church today. Didn't cover too much. It was a guest pastor. He was good. He told some great stories. I always like hearing how they relate life stories to what is actually going on. And this one was pretty cool because he was talking about how, once again, God's plan. It's set. That's what started last week as a new series. But God had the plan before we were even thought of yet. All right. Here's to that poll. What's the biggest thing holding back from joining the Marine Corps? Number one, mental confidence and discipline. Wow, that's really barely squeaked out physical fitness, though. Skyscraper. Okay, I was just frustrated. No, brother, we appreciate that. Appreciate that feedback. That's good, solid feedback. Sky, are you a veteran? That would help if we knew that. And again, doesn't matter. You see, it's not all Marines here. All services, veterans, and family members, dependents, and some just straight up civilians. Hello from Liverpool. Look at it. We got different countries here. Hunter Collins, a bunch of people just want to stir trouble. Can't respect. Yeah, I don't think Sky is starting to stir trouble. That's a legit concern. Future topic difference and similarities of countries based on military. Wilfred. Doc Holiday. God bless the USA, brother. Doc is the GOAT, the OG Doc. 11 months member. Doc, can't wait. Can't wait till next month to see that new badge pop up. It's going to be good. Thank you, Doc. God bless you, brother. And God bless you, USA. Skyscraper, yes, he's a veteran, but I haven't seen combat. It was during COVID in the U.S. Navy for one term. Shipmate, bro, you're a fellow shipmate. Let's talk Navy stuff. What'd you do in the Navy? Were you on ship, and what ships were you on? You have things in common with a majority here. Michael Jones, stopped to show my support, and I smashed that like button. There's that hammer. Can we get that hammer for Carl? I like that hammer. Michael, thank you, brother. If y'all haven't seen Michael's drones page, stop by and check him out. Michael, thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you. Ali the AI. So I absolutely love these new emojis. Aren't those emojis awesome? That's all producer. From the production team, nope, from the producer herself. Those are cool. Those are all cool. I wish I could use them. I wish I could just sit here no. I'd be way too distracted. A former British soldier here, ex-Royal Logistic Corps. Excuse me. Martin, do they call it ex-Royal? Do they call you ex-British soldier? And I emphasizing ex, because we had that discussion earlier. Marines don't go by ex-Marine. We go by former Marine, prior service Marine, Marine, retired. We don't say ex unless you were dishonorably discharged. Thanks, Mark. Look at Mark. This is the community that you're in, Sky. Don't beat yourself up. We got you. We appreciate you being here and feedback. Love it, Doc. 100% every day. Thank you, Doc, from the producer. And we got you, Collins. Yes, that's the other thing I love about this community. You guys are on. If they are a troll, you're on it, or just not in the. You read the room, right? I don't think that could be any further from the truth in a place like this. Just read the room, hang out for a little bit. 0317 on deck, Semper Fi Mac. Which we bring that back, Semper Fi Mac. That's an old school term, Semper Fi Mac. I want to be a hammer. Uh-oh, Doc, you ready? Saifu Amil. I don't know if is that Portuguese? I'm not sure what language is that. Samoan? I can't tell. David Bryant, the Marine Corps trains with the IDF. Indirect fire? Carl Green, 40 minutes to LZ. All right. Updated PFT standard we talked about. Active duty staff NCOs going to transition briefs. I'm telling you, part of the reason why we started this channel too, because of the transition I had out. And I wasn't alone. I think I was your typical. Some Marines are 100% set up when they get out. Place to live, place to work, family, schools, right? Wife working, all that is set up. And we assume. Yeah, I don't know what else thinking, Jake Awesome, Israel Defense Force. So I'm telling you, it's just a different mindset from getting out. And it was a wrong mindset. And it's 100% mindset. You got to be ready, prepared to get out. Starting the jungle course tomorrow, 10 days. Earn my jungle tab. Watch out for the habu, right? The banana spiders. Jungle training in Okinawa is brutal, right? First of all, the banana spider. It not as fat as my hand, but it's about as long as my hand. They're big, right? And they make these webs that can stop a bird. That's the kind of spider that is, the banana spider. If you haven't seen one, I hope you don't. And if you run it, the web can stop you. It definitely put a damper in your patrol. So watch out for the banana spiders. Don't use your weapon, but have a stick with you, have a couple rocks, because there's also boar up there. But those banana spiders ain't no joke. So good for you. Get after it. I got plenty of time up at I can't what's the base up there? Kinzer. I mean, what's above Hanson? What's the base up there? Schwab. Up at Schwab and the NTA, Northern Training Area. Ain't no joke. You know it's going to rain. Knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's going to. So, Major, the Marine Corps getting rid of the MPs. Great question. I haven't heard that, Doc. Funny you'd say that because it's been, every morning I go to the gym, it's been Marine Corps MPs. Yesterday or today, it was either yesterday or today, there was a civilian MP at the gate, civilian cop at the gate. And we did that for a long time. When OIF and OEF started, they were hiring a bunch of civilian cops, most of them prior service Marines. But it didn't matter. A lot of civilians at the gate, civilian police at the gate, so those Marines can go back to the unit and deploy with their unit. More Marines to the fight, right? We need more trigger pullers. So they start replacing the MPs, the military police, with civilian cops. It's happening in Hawaii, big time. And it's great for Marines that got out. I think it was a good job opportunity. You lose a little bit in translation with the straight up civilians, right? I had a couple of run-ins with straight up civilians. Nothing egregious, just different mindset. But I haven't heard has anyone heard that they are getting rid of MPs altogether? I think that would be a mistake because we need MPs in country, right? We need military police, Marine military police when we go in country. They serve a role as well in country, in combat. From the producer, everyone, please don't forget, holidays can be rough. Reach out to the VA crisis team if you need support. Call 988, select 1. You can also text this number, 838-255. Holidays are great, but not for everybody. Don't forget about those who bad memories come up during the holidays. Anonymous one, good to see you. Sorry I'm late, got COVID? No. Got COVID and throwing up. Brother, the flu's going around. It went through, right? USMC Cece was out for a while. Why she couldn't make it home for Christmas. And it went through a household there that she was with. Started to go through. Get well, brother. Get well. Man. Doc, I'm cool. Stay away from any spider. The producer thinks that men in general are afraid of spiders.
I will bet $100.
I'm not afraid of spiders.
None of you are afraid of them.
I just don't like them. I don't like them at all. At all. And I had two run-ins with camel spiders in Iraq. So Iraq, both times we're in Iraq. This was first sergeant. I was doing my work at the end of the night in this house that we overtook. And it's not a house like a house. This was like a mud hut. I remember everything was hooked up. I was doing some work. And a camel spider dropped from the ceiling, just like the nursery rhyme. Not only did it, I saw on its web, dropped all the way down from the ceiling, which was a thatch ceiling, dropped on my laptop. It scared me, and it would run away because they're just as scared of you as you are of them. Is not true at all. Because this dude picked it like his both arms up, and he came running at me. I swear he attacked me. This camel spider attacked me. So I destroyed the laptop and everything in the area. Freaked out. And the second one was I was laying in my rack, trying to fall asleep, rockets and stuff going off. So I was just kind of laying there. And sure enough, over the plywood and headboard that I had, the wood frame we were building, a camel spider came up and over, and I never found him. So I slept standing up for like 3 days because he was somewhere in my sleeping quarters, somewhere in my birthing area was this gigantic, size of my hand, camel spider. Still to this day. Not afraid of them, I just don't like them. Miguel Moreno, my buddy Shanks and I found a banana spider in Australia. We caught it and placed it inside a weaver ant nest. They shred that banana spider to pieces. R.I.P. Cope Matthew Shanks. R.I.P. Hope he's resting in power. Brother, thanks for sharing that story. Man, banana spiders ain't no joke. All right. Right, Doc? See, Doc agrees. I'm not afraid. I'm afraid of what the spider can do to me. Okinawa's the worst. WW, there's so many weird bugs and stuff. Hopefully you know what you be prepared. So USMC deactivated 3 MP battalions. So they're decreasing. Are they getting rid of them altogether? 2020 and 2021. 3 MP battalions. We've been through Camp Pendleton a few times recently, and I didn't notice a decrease. So that's interesting. Now, so I have banana spiders at the ranch. I love brake cleaner. It's my weapon of choice. Brake cleaner kills them. Good to know. Odessa was working for Trican Well Services, and a tractor cab was tarantulas, like 5. Pull the air brakes quicker than I can jump out of the cab. Seen a few tarantulas in my day. Apparently they don't bite or sting though. But they're big, hairy, and ugly. I don't want anything to do with them. Found one on my doorstep one time. Got a snow shovel to get. I didn't want to get anywhere near it. They're so big, I didn't even want to kill it. I actually let it just go into the wild. Wow, I wish I knew in basic my senior was scared of spiders. Cruz. Not afraid, just don't like them. David Bryan, thought MPs went out with tanks. Not yet, David Bryan. Again, it's first I'm hearing about the MPs. I don't maybe keep up with enough of it, but I didn't even know they disbanded those battalions. Eternal plus Pole's Path. Everyone is afraid of them. They just don't admit it. The banana spiders. Habusaki wine. Mr. Krosmus, 1989. Where are you from and broadcasting? Hello from Greece. Do you know where it is? I do know where Greece is. We are from the United States. We are in the United States. Thanks for being here. Semper Fi, my friend. Semper Fi, always faithful. And we're all friends here. Family. Banana DeVito. Is that an MRE? I haven't seen that one. Have I seen that one? MRE. Emoji. Look at those emojis. Oh, snap. Doc has a hammer. Oh, snap. Look at that. Doc, hammer time. All right? Should have no problem with trolls. Again, the hammers are already awesome. You guys do a great job. I haven't seen a troll in a long time. When you see them running across the desert at night, they look much bigger. We're talking about banana spiders. They're huge. I mean, camel spiders. Doc Holliday. Look at that wrench on there. Awesome. You best correct yourself on that SMFM. Who wrote that? Did I say that? Mm. Doc, you're about to be fired. You've been a hammer for about 3 minutes. 5 Fingers of Death is a MRE. I like them all. It's one of my least favorites. I don't know what it was about the hot dogs. 5 Fingers of Death. Look at that. Welcome aboard, Mr. Krosmas, 1989. Ezekiel Franklin, Semper Fi. All right. There it is, SFMF. You're back on, Doc. Camel spiders aren't poisonous, right? I heard just their bite hurts because they're so big. They probably have teeth. I don't know. Not poisonous, but the bite hurts. Thanks, Anonymous. As you were, Doc. You're excused. So, Major, remember Chief 1 Officer 2 to Chief 1 Officer 5 are fully commissioned officers. That's right. That was something I'm telling you, we all learned here. Never knew that a CW2 is actually commissioned. Warrant officers receive a warrant from the Commandant of the Marine Corps. Commissioned officers receive their commission from the President of the United States. Holds a little more weight. So warrant officers receive a warrant, and once they pick up 2 CW2, their warrants become commissions. They get a commission. That's cool. Yes. I'm telling you, we all learn here. Whoever had the charm MRE was the man, right? You got charms. What's the other one? Where's USMC Cece? What's the other fruit? That's bad luck?
Peaches?
Apricots. Apricots. Infantry, superstition, apricots. You don't eat apricots in the field. Apricot, nothing. Apricot drink, no apricots. Yeah, Lucky Charms. Everyone knows the Lucky Charms one. I didn't know the apricot one. Jake Awesome. I saw this video of a Marine shoving his hand into a fire ant hill. Oh, good. We were just talking about you. A fruit. What's the superstition? You don't eat it, but why? Mr. Cosmos, we're on the West Coast right now, but we're moving and shaking. That's why. We move around way too much. My name is Cosmas. Cosmas. Call it right, please. Cosmas. I don't know how to say that A with the hyphen over it. We're all over. I'm in Texas. Yes, Mr. Cosmas, if you're asking where everyone's from, all over the United States and other countries as well. The UK, Canada, WW, you need to do an LDO gunner. I do need to get an LDO and a gunner on the program. I've done a short about both, but you're right. And we are. Now, I don't want to talk about New Year's resolutions yet, but we have some Marines in the chute for the LDO program, Warrant Officer program. We got some officers in the chute ready to go. Force Design 2030 moved personnel from smaller FMF units, MPs, still used for deployments, corrections, and security, just organized differently. Force Design 2030. Thanks, Carl. Clearing that up. That's big, the Force Design 2030. The only part that we looked into a while ago was the barracks, Force Design 2030, but moving personnel around, they did it in Hawaii, right? Got rid of the battalions and made it a littoral regiment. 3 battalions, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, disbanded them all, made it 3rd Littoral Regiment. Same Marines, same concept, but just design different. Anthony Reed is here. What's up? Hello, Jarheads from Colombia. So here's the fruit. A fruit, you don't even, we can't say the word. The A fruit. It starts with an A, ends with a cot. You don't say that. You don't even say the word. I remember the vanilla pound cake was my favorite. The vanilla pound cake was good. Like the poppy seed one too. Poppy seed one was good. Vanilla, but the vanilla pound cake was the best. Yes. Kimi's working, Doc. She's on her way. She should be home soon. That Randall, look at Randall. Did you know that USMCC, they used to have that A fruit in the sea rats. Maybe that's why. Maple muffin tops were good. Those are new. Anthony Reed, LDO. Look, Doc, congratulations for the hammer. Fix us, Marines, and fix the chat.
Ban Carl. Remember what happened last year? Was it this year or last year?
Doc, first order of business, ban Carl. David Bryant, good night, brother. It's med time. God bless you. And we'll see you on Wednesday, New Year's Eve. David Bryant, hang tough, my brother. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Doc said, I'm on it. Banana DeVito. One time during night land nav, I found an unopened MRE chocolate chip cookie and my buddy ate it. Shelf stable. It lasts forever. Right? You just got to make sure that there isn't a crack or a rip or a tear in it somewhere. Good on them. They last forever. I'm telling you, halfway through OIF and OEF, we're getting MREs that were from the 80s, like before they even started handing them out yet. They're old. Not as good, but they last forever. David Bryan, I heard warrant officers will no longer be. Haven't heard that yet. David Bryant, interesting. Right? USMCC, that's probably where the lore started, from the old C-Rat can with that A fruit in there. Mr. Cosmas. Anyone? Texas, Houston, San Antonio, and the capital of the state. Last place, JDF, famous Power Ranger who suicide November 2010. 49 years old. Didn't know that. Love Texas, so Texas is a great state. Chocolate cookie gave me the squirts.
You don't have to read everything.
They would affect people differently. Doc Holiday recently opened one and got 3-year-old Skittles. You know what didn't age well was the M&Ms. Even the Skittles probably melted together, but M&Ms didn't age well. Chocolate, I think they probably mastered it now. They put enough junk in it to make chocolate last longer. But old M&Ms weren't good. Expired. It doesn't really expire. If you're hungry enough, you're going to eat it. How about cold weather MREs? Anybody have those cold weather MREs? They're double. You get 2 in 1 because you have to intake that many more calories. Delicious. Cold weather MREs are even better. Anonymous, I worked rations in Okinawa. Take MREs to veterinarian. If it's safe for pets, safe for people, same test for bacteria. And they are. Every now and then we'd get a batch, and they say, all right, if you check your MREs, if you have this batch number, don't eat them, return them. Somehow, some way they got contaminated. You never know. They're good. I like them all. Anthony Reed, what's the current cutoff age for the Marine Corps? 17 to 28 is the Marine Corps. All the services are pretty similar. Some are 29, some are, but I think the Air Force is the highest, oldest you can be, 17 to 28, but there's a waiver. There's a waiver for everything. The waiver now goes to 42. 42, they're talking about making the waiver out to 52. So we just all agree here that you got to be in top physical condition. Is it 42? 42? Yeah.
We had to retire at 62 with 20 years.
So 42. Oh, so you can retire 20 years at the age 62. You can do 20 years of full.
If they keep raising retirement age, then
Yeah.
maybe they'll raise the max.
Waiverable up to 42 years old. But 17 to 28 is your, without asking for a waiver. David Bryant, yes. Have a good night. It's like getting chewing tobacco from the States while deployed, like eating sawdust. I would chow down pretty hard on energy rations. I'm feral on 300 milligrams of pudding. So the MREs are designed. Obviously, you're in the field, you're supposed to be working harder, right? Because you can get fat on MREs too. They're like 2,000 calories per MRE, give or take whatever the MRE is, but it's to replace all the energy you're using. That's why cold weather C-rats are doubled, because now you're burning more calories just by trying to stay warm. So it's double. And there's soup and there's hot wets, cocoa, all those things. And cold weather rats are delicious. Why do M&Ms all taste the same? Skittles taste different. I don't know. And everyone likes the candy part, and you need it. You need that sugar rush also in the field. All right, everyone. Great show, man. You guys are on it. One a day MREs. That's what the Crucible does. Crucible in boot camp, they get one MRE for the 54 hours. 54 hours, you got to ration that MRE. And you can. It obviously, food deprivation is the key, because can you still perform your duties on food deprivation, sleep deprivation, and then still accomplish the mission? And the missions aren't normal. There's the obstacles that you have to come together as a team. Your fire team come up to an obstacle. You're already hungry. You're tired, irritated. You may or may not be in charge of that day, and you still got to accomplish the mission. 54 hours of that. It's pretty intense. 15 minutes LZ. Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. I told you all about my very first MRE in boot camp was that everything was dehydrated. Luckily, they've moved on from there. There's some delicious MREs nowadays. They with technology, right? They keep upgrading now. And there was like, when I first came in, there was like 6 different ones. That was it. Now that I can't even keep up with all the new ones that they come out. Look at the creamy spinach fettuccine was so bad I still peeped it up. They went, never even heard of spinach fettuccine. A week straight, you get gummed up. We had a guy take a deuce, the ring, and I'm telling you, they do some weird things to your body if you're not used to eating them. That's why, again, another addition that we started doing as a drill instructor. As soon as we got up north, second phase, we had some MREs left over from you, because you only eat like 1 or 2 in boot camp. But it would destroy some recruits' bodies. So we'd give them a couple items out of the MRE prior to them eating that one, I think 1 full day, or the Crucible. Now, again, Crucible was after my time. But it could destroy your body if you're not used to it. All right. Topics for today and in the future, we're mixing it up. And the theme that we still always try to, and you guys are amazing in the comments about them, the shorts and soon to be videos, and a lot of you saw, those of you that did see the production last week with late cooking. I want to do more of that. Perspectives are different in our variety. That's why I like when new people come here and say, what's the channel about? Yeah, I say the same thing every time. Hang out and see if it's for you. Reading the room is perfect. We learn something new every single show. We all do. And it's an amazing accomplishment. It's an amazing, we want people to not have to learn the hard way, like some of us did. And right now, we're learning about MREs. That's what happens with us drinking too much Gatorade. It can affect your body. The subjects that people talk about, tell me you can't get yourself set up for boot camp. With today's technology, right, the lessons learned of 5-step process to get ready for boot camp. And we break it down. You break it down because what worked for you may not work for somebody else. What we really like is the ones who do go to boot camp, have hung out in the show for a little while, go to boot camp, come back. The OCS grad, right? He was walking us through OCS. And then we haven't heard from him in a little while, but I'd like to see where he's at now and how, if you help him through. Everybody's learning. Everybody's winning. We had 5 MREs during the Crucible. 5 MREs. Wow, see, again, lesson learned. I didn't know that. 5 MREs during the Crucible. My favorite was the meatballs and marinara. 5 MREs, 54 hours. How many days is that? 24, 48, 4 days. 2 days. 2.5 days. 24, 48. Oh, so 54. 2 days and some change, which would typically be 7 MREs, right? Three MREs a day, 3, 6, and then the next morning, 7. So you're living off 5 MREs? That's a lot.
No, it's not. That sounds about right.
Well,
5 in 2.5 days.
yeah, it's about right, is what I'm saying. I thought it was more food deprivation,
Oh.
right? I thought it was less. But still, 5 MREs, because when you're in the field and you are working, 1 MRE is not enough for a meal. So 5 MREs when it should be 7, yeah, a little bit of food deprivation. And you're not sitting down eating a full MRE, right? You don't have time to do all that. You don't have time to heat it up and prepare it and eat everything in it. Your chow is constant, right? Where's Gabriel? Do you get to break it down? Do you get to prepare your MRE at all before you go on the Crucible? It's another video in a class I want to do. Just show how to break down an MRE because they're big, right? You cut it open, take out the stuff you know for a fact you won't use. You don't need that. You don't need to take that in the field. That's more weight you're carrying. It's more trash you got to carry out of there. So break it down, make it smaller, take it out of the air tightness of it, a little 550 cord or electric tape, put it back in. So you break down those 5 MREs. You can take up half the space. And then again, taking out the stuff you know for a fact you're not going to eat or you don't need. You don't need 5 spoons. You only need 1 spoon. It's breaking it down smaller. You keep your spoon. You reuse the spoon every single time. If you don't use the hot sauce, you're going to have time to prepare like you normally would with the salt and pepper and whatever else. Get rid of all that stuff. Take the stuff that you need. Gabriel says, we ate them cold and barely had time to eat. We saved the snacks while we would hike, right? Chow's continuous. You got to eat on the move. Anonymous, you should collaborate with Keegan Dunlap. So I met him and we briefly talked about it. It was at that event. I would love to. Need to watch some of his stuff. Doc Holliday, Sergeant Major, any CrossFit events before the end of the year plan to attend? Not before the end of the year because that's in a couple of days, but so the one we did, the High Rocks Kimi Cocoa Puffs and I did, we volunteered the morning of, and then we competed later that afternoon. Again, don't recommend you do it that way. We should have done 2 different days. But by volunteering, we earned a free entry into one. We have a year to use it. So we were just looking on the calendar last night. Doc, funny you mentioned that because I definitely want to do it again. And it's what? Oh, in Las Vegas. There's one coming up in Las Vegas in March. No, that one's February. Yeah, I don't know. We're looking. We're definitely going to do another one. It was awesome. And of course now, the competitive nature in it, did it, completed it, survived. Now I want to do it again and beat my score or beat our time to do it again. Kimi Cocoa Puffs is doing another one here in a couple of weeks. She's beast mode. She's doing it soon. But I want to get on another one. I can't wait. It was good. It was very cool. 10 minutes LZ. All right. I remember when somebody put Banana DeVito. I remember once they made us pick out the M&Ms in our trail mix. What? I missed it. Merch. Push some merch. What? Can you say it? No. Merch. Thanks. There's a mud run in Lake Elsinore. Get your SFMF merch right here. SFMF merch my Shopify.com. I'm not wearing any merch today. Hoodies. Get your hoodies. Still cold wherever you are. The hoodies still hot and heavy. We still have some. Inventory is running low. Get on the merch. Almost all the stickers are out. T-shirts, hoodies, and don't forget we still have, boom, still got some lanyards left, and we still have the green monsters left. I'm turning with, there's that hammer. Sorry. Green monster. Still use it today. Lanyards, stickers. Get the SFMF merch before the end of the year. Right there, SFMFmerch.myshopify.com. And honest, no candy in boot camp. That sucks, stripping the trail mix. So in boot camp as a drill instructor, yes, when we gave the recruits, first thing we do is have them open everything up. Of course, everything's by the numbers. You get online, and yes, the drill instructors would walk by, and they would have to hand up their M&Ms, their Skittles. Wasn't a whole lot of candy back then, but they all did have some sort of candy. And of course, we take the heaters. One, that's just, we don't want to take the time. You don't have that kind of time to heat up. Highly recommend you heat the MRE up when you have the ability to. But we should have, we told them how to do it in boot camp, but we didn't allow them to do it. But no candy. You ain't got time for that in boot camp. You don't need it. You don't need those calories because you eat 1 or 2. Well, apparently now you eat 5 for the crucible, but you don't need to, you don't need a candy. You don't need to heat them up. Anthony, what advice do you want me to give him? Oh, citizenship at age 82. Topic, suggestion, Hunter Collins. Fighting the tired feeling of how to stay up on watch. That's a great one. That doesn't get talked about enough. Excuse me, you're right. Because what can you do when you're on watch and it starts? That's why we do it in boot camp. You have fire watch in boot camp. For all the right reasons, learning your general orders, walking your post in a military manner, got it. But how do you stay awake on those nights? And everyone probably has their own different way of doing it. But some tips for the trade would definitely help someone who can't. Because we've all been there. Sometimes you're on some duty watch. It could be if you pull the 02 to 03 watch, or if you're in a unit that does 2 hours, 3 hours, right? Duty NCO in the barracks, those middle of night hours during the week when nothing's going on. There are things you got to do to stay awake. And PT, do some push-ups, right? Work up a sweat, get your heart rate going. If you're in combat and it's noise and light discipline, right? You might have to have another way to do it, but there's definitely tricks of the trade to help you stay awake. That is a great one. That'd be a good one. Good one to do. Doc Holiday says, I keep seeing it on Facebook. I believe in January, I'll give you more info next live. Mud runs are cool. We've done some mud runs together as well. Would love to do a mud run. Any of those competitions are always fun. I like seeing the crowd, the type of people that do it. That High Rocks was very interesting to see the level. And again, there's different levels of this one, the High Rocks. Different levels of the elite. Of course, those are the just the studs that going for PRs. Every time they get out there, they go for PRs. Then you got the casual, which I like to think when Kimmy and I did it, we're above the average, right? We're beast mode, getting after it, but it's fun seeing the different types of people that do it. Hunter Collins, I don't recommend that. I used to put hand sanitizers under my eyes. Okay, under. So it kind of makes your eyes, gives you a little spark to it. Maybe I heard that in boot camp too. I don't know if we didn't have hand sanitizer when I went through or when I was a drill instructor. It wasn't a thing yet. 12/28/25. Mud Run producer. Oh, let's go. That's today, 12/20. Isn't today the 28th? SFMFers from the producer. Hit that like button before you head out, please. Por favor, please. Doc, yeah, that was today. Dang. Next mud run is in February. Let us know. We'll look into it. It's been a while since we've done a mud run. They're always cool. The last one we did was a big one on Camp Pendleton. Right, we did with some friends. That was great. Devil 07. Patrol behind the barracks at PI and watch for water moccasins. All right, here's can get you going too. If you're on watch somewhere and you start seeing things, or you actually do see things. I remember one time, this was in Camp Pendleton, on duty hut, middle of the night. I didn't know what it was. It would look like some kind of animal on 2 feet, like an alien or a Bigfoot, but a little smaller than Bigfoot that we all know Bigfoot to be. Turned out to be possum. Was it possum? Or Rex, something, walking on their hind legs coming up to the duty hut. So that can keep you awake as well. Anonymous had to pull a nighter of fire watch. 2 guys in another platoon caught. What? Another way to say you're lucky to have watch. Yes, they got booted, of course. Good. You never know what you're going to see on duty in the middle of the night. This was fleet time in boot camp. I used toothpaste because it gives you that, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It just makes your eyes water. Kind of wakes you up like Vicks vapor rub, right? When that's a old wives' tale solution to stuffy nose. Put some Vicks, right? Because that makes your eyes water, kind of clears everything up. Or some kind of rubbing alcohol, something to just kind of wake you up, right? Push-ups. If your ability to do some kind of crunches, push-ups, burpees, something to keep you awake, work up a sweat, get your heart rate going. That's what you got to do. Get your heart rate up so you're not as sleepy. But man, that bug can hit you. It can hit you and you just can't do anything like besides putting toothpicks on your eyelids to stay awake, right? Been in some classes like that and through high school and even some military schools. You get that speaker is just monotone, that Bueller, you just can't stay awake for nothing. Imagine doing that in the middle of the night, somewhere dark where, again, light discipline, noise discipline, you can't have any of that and you can't move and you got to try and stay awake. So yeah, dangerous. All right, 1 minute to LZ. And we'll end it on this. God bless all of you. All of you. We'll see you in a couple of days. If some of you can't make it on Wednesday, I guess we'll see you next year. Say again? 3 more? Pop yellow smoke. Got to pop that smoke. Find that LZ. 2 days back to back. Made it 0-3. Second day, my buddy found out catwalk barracks. I'm telling you, some crazy stuff happens in the middle of the night on fire watch. But yes, everyone, stay safe, be aggressive, but get after it. We'll see you on Wednesday, on New Year's Eve. Have a great couple of days. Semper Fi My Friends. Everybody.